investing in yourself. In my opinion, to truly be successful holistically, you need to be well. For my own personal experience, the healthier I am, the better my mind is, the better my decision making is, the better everything in my life goes. I'm very vocal in my circle in life about processed food, about the food that we are living in here, that the kind of shit that food manufacturers can get away with making is insane. At one point in my life, I owned a restaurant, and we did everything in our power to buy the best quality foods that we could at the time, and it tasted leagues better than processed salt-filled garbage. One of the things that I found when I started really dipping my toe in this was starting with food specifically. Getting what I ate under control created a domino effect for everything coming together in a big way. For me, the biggest thing was step number one was removing foods with sugar added to it. And as I went going through the grocery store trying to find food that did not have sugar added, I realized quickly that I was going to have to make most of my food to avoid this. And to avoid chemicals and things like that, it was so much easier to eat primarily plant-based. I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat a lot of plants. I eat a lot of not meat things because it's easier for me to fulfill the criteria of what makes me feel better. Plain and simple. When I start feeling good by eating really good foods, I don't feel bogged down. My mind feels sharp. My gut actually influences the health of my brain. It's scientifically proven that our gut health influences the well-being of our brain. If you're really depressed, you got garbage shit inside you. I know firsthand when I was eating like dog shit, drinking a ton of booze, smoking cigarettes, basically just being an asshole to my body, I was depressed a lot. And I wasn't making good decisions. I was spending money on dumb shit trying to make myself feel better. So with me trying to get my situation under control by getting rid of all this debt, it only makes the most sense to me to be completely healed from top to bottom so that I'm making good decisions. And when you start making good decisions, they snowball. And you just continue to make good decisions. And then before you know it, you're looking back, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I've come this far. The other day, I weighed myself, and 233. That is the lowest I have ever been that I can remember since maybe high school. That's insane to me. I wrote down a goal last June of wanting to see 230, and I'm actually going to hit it. And overcoming the limiting beliefs, which is another thing I want to talk about. The things that I told myself of like, I'm just always going to be fat. I'm always fat. I'm just going to have to get used to it. It's like, you're never going to be a thin dude. You're just always a big guy. Things I would tell myself that would basically hold me back from being successful and just kind of like limiting myself to this window of success by what I told myself. Seeing this progress and getting myself right around the corner of the goal is like I have eliminated those beliefs. That is a big thing that holds us back from a lot of our potential. What are the things that we tell ourselves that hold us back, that we make peace with? It's like, oh, my family's always been poor. Oh, I've never been good with money. I'll never be good with money. I just have come to grips that I'm always going to have debt. These are the kind of things that I myself have been guilty of and have worked so hard to update my mindset because I don't want those things. I started writing down the things that I wanted What do I want? I could tell you right now. My number one goal right now is to be a dad. Plain and simple. It's the best thing in my life. For most of my life, I have focused more on work and advancing my career as a musician, as an engineer and a producer. Now, I have put those things on the side for right now, and I've put a lot of my attention into being a dad. And since I've done that, the relationship I have with my kids has skyrocketed. Worth my time 100%. I also work very hard because I want to make their lives easier. As a parent, we can all agree it is a ton of fun to kind of spoil your kids a little bit. Feels great. It's the best. The other thing I want is I want my own house. When my marriage ended, my wife kept the house, and that was great. I want my own. I want to build it. I want to build my own house, and I want it on the water. That is the biggest thing that fuels me right now. I want that. I have found solace in being on and near the water, and being a Cancer, it makes complete sense why being on the water feels like home. That goal right there fuels me. I also want to be able to have the option to retire. I love to work. I'm a busy person. I like things to do. I would love to be able to have the choice of being able to retire someday. Today, actually, when I was on my Fidelity account through work, which I have been dumping tons of money into, I'm finally in the spot where Fidelity says, hey, you're on track to reach your retirement goal by your retirement age, which I was just like, holy shit. I'm actually seeing progress in turning this thing around. When I started this channel, my daughter asked me, Dad, what if you don't get your debt paid off by your 40th birthday? And my response was, I'm going to work my ass off to get there, but if I don't, the thing that I'm going to have is I'm going to have good habits built in place of me focusing on this goal. And I'm going to have this mindset of debt-free, 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 debt-free. This is going to be my mantra for the next year. Every decision I make is going to impact me being able to achieve paying off debt. When I eat food, I'm eating things that are good for me. I make good decisions. I'm taking care of myself. I feel like being active is almost a byproduct of taking care of yourself, both your body and your mind. You want to be outside. When you feel good, you want to be in the sunshine. And so you go out there and you do stuff. You want to go for a walk. What I'm really getting at in this episode, is think about what your goals are. Think about what you're telling yourself that's holding you back from achieving those goals. A common one that I see is lack of confidence as an individual, and I'm not thinking the right word, but basically trying to compensate for insecurities and their self-confidence rather, by having the latest and greatest car, nice house, nice clothes, basically spending yourself into looking the part when you're not being fulfilled on the inside, projecting on the outside of appearances, artificially keeping up appearances in a way that is not practical for the amount of money that you generate as an individual. I'm sure you've heard the term act your wage. That's a big one. Let's use that as an example. If you're an individual that finds yourself pining for X, Y, and Z so that you stand out and people think that you're better than you are, there's something inside that is eating at you. Myself growing up, it's like we weren't rich, we weren't poor, we were just kind of in the middle. And so there's a little piece of me that has had a little bit of motivation to want money because we just didn't have it around growing up. And keeping up appearances has subconsciously been in there. It hasn't been a forefront thing, but it's definitely been something inside of me. Acknowledging that and healing from that has helped me to make better financial decisions. So recap, what are your goals? What are the thoughts that are limiting you from reaching your goals? Write the shit down. I've got the notebook. This is my personal journal right here. I go back and I look at these things so I know if I'm making progress. Anytime you're having something that's kicking around in your head, or if you feel something that's not feeling right inside you, if something feels like there's a blockage, it could be in your stomach, your chest, anywhere that just feels like you're not totally connected, something's off. And it needs to be figured out. You need to start poking and prodding around. When I was younger, I utilize psilocybin as a great way to stir things up. The latest and greatest thing that I'm utilizing is breath work. That has been super beneficial for me. I've also used therapy to help break some things up. I'm spending money on myself to make myself better so I make better decisions all the way around. Invest in yourself. Figure these things out so that you can be successful. Write this shit down so you can see your progress. And when you start seeing your progress, you're going to start getting more stoked and start kicking more ass. And that's the goal. To kick ass at life, because life fucking rules.